Hello, and welcome back to the Court Jesters podcast. I'm here with my main man, Matthew
Patrick Torres. Hey guys, did you miss us? There's been less videos because of...
Basketball's a little short right now. We're going to gear up for the regular season when it starts in a few weeks, but we wanted to hit you again with another episode, catch up with you guys, just check in, maybe talk a little bit of hoops, and let you know we love you, because we do love you with all our hearts.
We do, it's true.
Yeah, how you doing, Matt? Everything going well?
I mean, I'm starting to get the lack of basketball depression is kicking in.
Yeah, I mean, are you a football fan?
Man, I try, but I can't. I barely care about Bears games, and then people who watch random games that don't matter. It's really hard for me to get into it.
Yeah, Chicago's cool when the Bears are up and kicking, but when they lose, everybody just gets weird about it. They're very invested in the Bears for some reason. The city, I don't know.
Because these are two franchises that are mutually accepted by both sides, I feel like.
Right, yeah, because there's only one. Yeah, there's only one team.
Yeah.
The city's kind of split with Cubs and Sox, and baseball's kind of stupid. Football's once a week, so people are into that. But yeah.
I'm not saying it because it's a basketball podcast, but definitely. I mean, football makes more money, I think, in the United States, right, than basketball.
I believe so. Yes, in the United States. Yeah,
so
not globally though.
I think that's true, but I think as a city, the city embraces the Bulls more as a whole. The whole city.
Well, the Bulls had a great run in the '90s, so I think they're one of the most powerful NBA franchises. That makes sense.
And then the only people that ever saw the Bears good are most of them are super old.
Right. Yeah, the '85 Bears was the last time
before we were alive.
Want to work. Yeah, definitely. So. Yeah, football's back, but we don't really give a fuck about that. Basketball is slowly creeping in. I mean, it is a 12-month sport in terms of being in the news, so we do have some stuff to talk about. Our favorite thing about an NBA podcast is the 9/11 conspiracy theory, so leave your favorite in the comments. It is a tragic day for the United States. 18 years ago, awful day.
Yeah.
Today, way worse. The United States has been eliminated from the FIBA World Cup this morning.
That was the biggest tragedy of 9/11. 2019.
That's true.
We're no longer into the world arena of basketball.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think did you pay attention to the USA team at all? Did you pay attention to any of these World Cup games?
No.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people did. It was pretty much our C squad. There were 2 All-Stars on the team. There was
because no one wants to get hurt, right?
Right. There was Kemba Walker, who was the best player on the team. I mean, he's a top 20 player in the league. 15? Yeah, probably 15. You're right. And then the only other person that's made an all-star team on there was Middleton from the Milwaukee Bucks. So
I like him.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player. I think
he's not top 15.
No, he's top 20. Another good player that had not made a all-star team yet was Donovan Mitchell. He scored 29 points this morning in their loss to France. Not even that good of a team. But they do have Rudy Gobert, which, right. Rudy Gobert is their center, which is their best player by far. They have a couple NBA players on there as well.
So you really followed this?
I pay attention, yeah. I mean, I love basketball. But it's interesting to me to kind of see the different iterations of Olympic teams or World Cup teams. I don't assume that we will be this bad next year in the Olympics. I do think we'll have a better quality of player come next year when it's time to play for the Olympic medals. But as far as the World Cup, we really didn't send our best. We didn't come close to sending our best.
It wouldn't even be a competition, though, if we did.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's. I think the last time that we lost was 2000 or 2004. It's been a long time since we've lost even a game in any world, I don't know what you want to call it, a game against any other country, as in the United States. I don't know. It's kind of a bummer to see such a sorry team play, and no one really cared because of that. But I think, this is a direct result of how much money is out there and how much we've seen injuries affect.
Yeah, it's so much more worth it to just be healthy.
Right, it's Paul George, he fucked up his leg a few years back. I think that was, almost, it must have been 7-8 years ago by now. I think it was 2012. That's when his, bone went through his fucking leg, and then he was out for a year before he came back.
That's almost starting to happen with What's it called? I'm horrible. What's it called? The 3-point competitions and stuff.
The All-Star Weekend? What do you?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of bigger names are starting to like say out of stuff like that, like the slam dunk competition.
Yeah,
and stuff.
people have really not done the dunk competition. I think there's just too much to lose in terms of like someone like
Twisting
LeBron
ankle.
doing it or something like that. Yeah, well, there's that, but
Losing.
yeah, I mean, it's not really directly correlated to like the actual game of basketball. It is like a cool thing to do, but it's more like a trick, or something like that.
So when Blake Griffin jumped that Kia, it wasn't.
that wouldn't be useful in a game. Like, oh no, there's a Kia on the court.
Send in Blake.
I got this. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, would you play for Team USA at some point in your NBA career, your hypothetical NBA career? Say you're making a regular superstar salary of like $30 million a year. Would you risk it to put it all out there for your country to win a gold medal?
It depends if I have a championship or not.
Ooh.
Because if I don't have a championship, I feel like it'd be kind of nice to have a gold medal, an Olympic gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
but if you're already a champion, you think you don't risk it.
No, I wouldn't risk it because then you're champion of the United States. I mean, that's
Right.
the world. So
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it doesn't make much sense for someone like LeBron to do it because he's already done it, I believe, 3 times at this point. I think he has 3 Olympic golds. So I don't really see him wanting to come back next year. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Kawhi will want to come back because he's so high up there. And he's playing for legacy.
the rest of the world's a joke to me because, like, if you took an average team, I mean, what's a really average team from this year? Like the Bucks, right?
No, they were great.
I mean, like a good, like they're not the best, but they're like a good team, a solid team, not average, solid team. What's a solid team?
Let's say the Boston Celtics from last year.
Ooh, that's nice. So the Boston Celtics, right?
Yeah.
Solid team. Everyone's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any country can beat a full squatted Boston Celtics team where everyone's healthy and playing and trying to win.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I mean,
so like why? Like if they're so under talented compared to us, why would you even play them?
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, I guess the big advantage of these other countries is that they play together for so long, so they are a team. I think the USA, they try to cram it together in 2 or 3 weeks, so it's more like an all-star team trying to figure out an offense. You know?
The fact that it's arguable shows how bad the other countries are.
I guess, but they really have been catching up the last however long, you know?
If there's something at stake, do you think if we put together our actual best team that anyone could fuck with it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
not yet. No way.
It'd be a blowout.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there are some. I mean, we're getting to that point where about maybe a third of NBA superstars are from other countries. So it has globally affected the world, and I think they are catching up.
Weird.
Yeah, they have the Gasol brothers. Yeah, Australia's great. They have Ben Simmons. They have Patty Mills from the Spurs. There's a lot of there's a lot of countries that have big contributions to the sport. Luka Doncic is, an overseas guy. Rudy Gobert is an overseas guy. Embiid technically is an overseas guy.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like he was one of the OGs, but. Yeah, I do think that the world is catching up. It was kind of oddly enough the dream team that dominated the world so many years ago that kind of got global attention and everyone kind of fell in love with the NBA and their superstars in the 90s when it was becoming a global thing.
Arguably the best basketball team of all time, everyone says.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely up there. I mean, that's an interesting question. Could the prime Golden State Warriors, could they beat
the dream
team?
No.
I don't know, dude. I mean, see, that's the thing. When you have, like, an actual team that plays together and they're, like, playing a team basketball game, I could maybe see that happening,
Yeah, there's like...
because they actually know how to play together. Like, these teams are, like, put together for, like, such a short amount of time,
Still, man, that's some talent.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean... You're right, because you have Jordan and Pippen, you have Charles. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You ever seen the memes about it where Jordan says that his favorite part about playing the Olympics was like finding out people's weaknesses to use in the regular season?
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, he's a fucking maniac. Yeah, Jordan's a fucking maniac.
Let's come together as a country. Like, okay.
So your answer is you would play in the Olympics if you didn't have a championship because it would feel like your championship and you would want to win something. But if you had one, you'd say no way because I did something better.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, I can't even think of a good analogy. Maybe like comedy. If you never had an hour special and you always wanted like a Netflix hour special and you never got one, would you do like one of those weird 30-minute TV ones that everyone gets? I mean,
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but then if you
you're
had
not going to risk hurting yourself.
Yeah, but if you had a Netflix one and you could possibly line up another one, you're not gonna like waste good solid material on a half hour.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's not doing fucking Comedy Central's,
30-minute
laugh.
Yeah,
Chuckle Fest or something,
or whatever, or Hulu, or
yeah. So I mean, like I see. I mean, they're just being like super logical. Like,
yeah, they got to watch their bag. Like if you got a $200 million contract coming up in a couple of years or in a year,
and not even the money too. I mean, the money's huge, but I'm saying like some people, a lot of people now more like about their legacy. Like you even hear them talk about it.
Right.
Like, people are taking huge sacrifices money wise just to get rings and stuff. Right. So I feel like, I feel like more so people just want to like win.
Yeah, well, it becomes long-term celebrity, which we've learned in a time of social media can be generated into profit at any point. Like if you...
Unless you're Carmelo Anthony. Fuck.
Yeah, things are not going great for him. Although it sounds like... I almost put this on our list of things to talk about, so I guess we'll just talk about it. Carmelo Anthony is one of the greatest Olympic players of all time. He's won 4 gold medals, and yeah, he's one of the most decorated Olympic athletes. He looks to be like he's going to be signing with the Brooklyn Nets at some point.
That should be interesting.
Well, the thought is that he can be the placeholder for Kevin Durant for this year until he gets back. So I think that'd be interesting to watch. I already think the Brooklyn Nets are a prime candidate for underachiever of the year because Kyrie Irving, we saw what he did with the Celtics. They were kind of better off without him. And we don't have Durant this year. I'm not saying they won't be formidable or a playoff team. I'm saying I think they might be a low-seeded playoff team in the East. And I think they wouldn't have a chance if they're in the West. But
yeah, the West is dominating again pretty good.
I mean, there's just 80% of the talent out there. That's kind of my read on it. And then Kawhi going West again.
The East was getting pretty good for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they won the championship last year.
Yeah, and then it was, I don't know.
I mean, who's a real contender in the East this year? The Bucks with Giannis.
The Chicago Bulls.
Fuck that noise. And the Sixers, the 76ers. I think we could watch out for the Pacers depending on when Oladipo comes back and how good he is. But yeah, I guess the Celtics are kind of in there and the Nets are kind of in there. I feel like I'm forgetting one team, but oh yeah, the Raptors are still decent after losing Kawhi. I mean, they have...
do you think the Raptors are...
They have Kyle Lowry, he's an all-star.
Do you think low in the playoffs?
I think...
Or not at all?
I think they'll be between a 4 and a 7 seed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
4 is pretty high end.
I mean, Siakam's going to have more room to grow. He's a very good player. You still have Gasol at center. You still have Kyle Lowry playing point, and the East isn't that good. So,
you think the Bulls have no chance to make the playoffs?
I think the Bulls have a 20% chance to make the playoffs.
I'm going to say it right now. On 9/11, 2019.
This is going to be a tragedy.
When you watch this, and I guess months from now, I think the Bulls will make the playoffs.
This guy has no fucking idea what he's talking about. He's just saying that because he loves the Bulls.
I think they're going to make some moves. I don't know. Get some.
Oh, you think they're going to make some moves?
Yeah, they need to make moves. This team will make the playoffs.
Yikes. Yeah, Kobe White. I'm excited to see what he's got. I would love to see the Bulls flip Zach LaVine for someone. Not because I don't like LaVine, but
Zach LaVine's super good. I don't know why we keep holding on to him. A lot of people. I mean, at first I wanted to keep Zach LaVine because I felt like it was the only good thing we had. But I've switched sides now.
He's the East's Devin Booker. He is all offense. I guess he's been working really hard this offseason, according to the Instagram videos.
He's like one of the lamest number 1 guys.
Yeah, I mean, he can fucking put the ball in the basket, no doubt about that. But he doesn't necessarily make his team better, and he's kind of a liability on the defensive end, to be honest.
He gets hurt a little bit too.
Yeah, he's a little fragile, but I mean, he's a small dude. But yeah, again, nothing against LaVine. He's great. I would love to have him on my team as like a 2 or 3, or I really think he would benefit from a superstar that was older and has done more in his career with some guidance. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the answer to going far down the road for the Bulls is to hang on to him and watch him develop. I think they need someone else. He's not the number 1 guy.
Oh yeah, I'm banking on like crazy moves. I hope like something changes.
Who do you think they should get rid of?
Honestly, it sounds like, so I'm super optimistic. I'm just optimistic no matter what. I always just hope they'll win just enough games. I wouldn't mind if they got rid of anybody and everybody.
Yeah. I want them to hang on to Margaret.
He's cool. He's going to be really good. I think maybe
he doesn't demand
season.
the ball. He's tall. He shoots. I think he's a great player.
He has some weird stat where he's the number 1 3-point shooter over 7 feet tall. Something.
Oh, really? That's cool.
A bunch of them. But I'm saying he's good.
Yeah, he's great.
But I think he's going to be good this year. I feel like after one more year after this, he's going to start getting really good. If he doesn't get hurt.
I think so. Even if he's a 20-point guy and that's it, he doesn't get to 25 or anything like that. If he does 20 and 10 for a long stretch of his career and he's an outside shooting threat, that is exactly what you want around a superstar. You want someone that doesn't demand the ball, can wait around the wing and get it, can be a presence down low.
And we got him cheap.
Yeah. He'll demand some money at some point, but...
he can have a good season.
Yeah.
I don't know. I joke around, but I feel man, we're depressingly bad.
Yeah, the Bulls fucking suck at basketball.
It's really bad. If I have to bet my mortgage on it or something, I don't think the Bulls are going to make the playoffs. But if I get to just make blank random statements, if
I just get to say shit,
the Bulls will be number 7 seed in the playoffs.
That's the type of expertise we're bringing here.
It's just, man, you just gotta root. You gotta always be positive. I don't know, but
diehard Bulls fans can't be mad.
Even right now, when you're who would you trade? I'm thinking damn, we don't have anything.
I think we have shit to trade. I just don't think. I don't think
you could trade shit.
That's for other shit. Yeah.
When Zach LaVine's your ace.
You could. Okay. How about this? Say you could trade Zach LaVine for Kevin Love, and Kevin Love has 3 years left on his contract. Would you do it?
To make a better team, or just have. It would make it the Bulls more money, probably. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think the thought behind something like that would be so you bring in a veteran who has proven playoff experience, championship experience, and kind of leads these young players into a new thing. But I'm not saying that's even a rumor. I'm just saying that's a type of. Those would be a type of a trade that I could see happening, an older player than LaVine who is more. Has a bigger presence in the NBA, but necessarily doesn't have the same upside moving forward.
I feel really
or you could do something trade.
I feel there's no way to
LaVine for Wiggins or something stupid like that.
A depressing thought that I'm not going to give into yet because it's still it hasn't even started. But I can't even think of a way to dig ourselves out.
Well, Garpax, I don't fuck with the Bulls as long as Garpax is in charge because they've done an awful job doing everything for a long time. Do you mind if I switch the topic about the Bulls? Do you have any other Bulls thoughts while we're on the topic?
I'm sure I will interrupt you when you're talking about something else, and I'll be like, what about Rodman? Remember the McDonald's cup that changed hair color?
Oh, that was fucking sick. We got to get one of those.
Yeah,
I remember those.
Put it on the screen.
We need. Oh my god! You're giving me fucking homework. Jesus Christ! No, I gotta edit some shit. Okay, all right. Let's talk about a team that actually has a chance to win more than 5 games this year.
Lakers?
Yeah, since last time we talked, DeMarcus Cousins got injured, and he's down. He's out for the year. He's also having some legal trouble, and I don't really want to comment on any of that just because I don't really know what happened, and it sounds pretty fucked up. So we're not going to talk about DeMarcus Cousins, but we will talk about his replacement, which the Lakers signed Dwight Howard, which is hilarious.
Weird.
That he's back with the Lakers. Yeah, it is super weird. But honestly, dude, I think that's an amazing move. The last time he played healthy, he was still 15 points, 12 rebounds.
Dwight Howard's still good.
He's still good. He's not a number 1. He's not a number 2. He's probably not a number 3.
But they have number 1.
Good, and they have a 3, and they have a 2. They got LeBron, they got Anthony Davis, they got Kuzma, and
Dwight Howard can play that role.
Dwight Howard can get fucking rebounds and take up space in the paint. And I think the big thing is that Anthony Davis does not want to play center. So this allows him to stay at the power forward position a lot of the time. And between him and JaVale McGee, I think they can handle being a center for the Los Angeles Lakers this year.
And it makes the Lakers a big boy team.
Yeah, they're fucking huge.
Yeah.
You can play LeBron at point.
Yeah.
Kuzma at the 3, put some. So I play a lot of 2K. I just got 2K20, and it's been fucking amazing. I've been playing a lot of Lakers. My favorite lineup to play with is to have LeBron at the point guard, have Danny Green at the 2, have Kuzma at the 3, have Anthony Davis at the 4, and Dwight Howard at the 5. I think that's a championship starting 5. I don't know about the bench. We got to figure that out. Maybe some trades will happen throughout the year. But that team, I think, can beat the Clippers. I think they can beat the Rockets. I think they can probably beat the 76ers. The 76ers are equally as big.
And a bunch of huge, not only just big, it's agile big men.
Yeah, except Dwight, I guess. But
But Dwight's still pretty...
Yeah, Kuzma is going to have... I mean, that's one good thing I think about this USA team is that Kuzma's gotten a lot of global experience. I think he's matured a lot. I'm really excited to see what he does this year. I don't think you're going to see his numbers skyrocket because you have another superstar on the team eating a lot of points up, but I think Kuzma is going to be a very, very important piece to this Lakers team this year and how far they go.
Yeah, the Lakers are starting to get like a little scary.
Yeah, so you like the Dwight Howard move?
Yeah, I love it. I think, I think Dwight Howard. I mean, a lot of people snooze on Dwight Howard. Like, I think just Dwight Howard's just been with a bunch of bad teams.
Future Hall of Famer, man. No doubt about it.
Yeah, but he's still a great player, and he still has like good amount of years left on him.
If anybody that can get more than 10 rebounds a game average is a really good player.
He's a huge man. And,
yeah, he's ginormous.
Actually, Dwight Howard was the piece. I mean, I haven't verbally said it, but like in my head, where I kind of switched to like I was kind of thinking like it's going to be like maybe the Clippers, and now it's kind of like I don't know.
Clippers are really small.
Yeah,
but
that's going to be
that's the thing though is that will the Lakers and the Clippers, if they match up in the playoffs, will the Clippers be big enough to stop the Lakers' big guys?
Not right now.
But the other question, if you look at it the other way, is will the Lakers have the wing players, not necessarily even speed, but will they have the wing defenders to stop Paul George and Kawhi? Because those two on the wings, that's fucking scary. Like, I'm interested to see how the Clippers play together because it's Paul George and Kawhi as your wings. Those are the two best wings probably in the NBA as far as two-way players, defense and offense. But I don't know how that's going to work out when neither one of them is really bringing the ball up the court. Like, they're not the point guard. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I kind of just feel like that was like the step for me where now it's like, because the first, I don't know if you remember last time when we were talking, I was super like, I thought the Clippers kind of like had them a little bit.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. Like,
yeah, I mean,
that's too much.
The Clippers, I think, you know who the Clippers should really look at, like in terms of like historically speaking, to like try to build a team around? It's the 90s Bulls. Because Kawhi and Paul George is not unlike Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm saying they're as good or even in that level. I mean, I don't know. Kawhi's in his prime. Paul George is in his prime. You know, they both had one of their best seasons last year. But they're both injury prone. And they're both going to have to do a lot of load management this year, and we'll see who's healthy in the playoffs and how things are meshing. Because I do think it's those two teams. I don't think the Rockets are going to. I mean, I think the Rockets will be in it, but I don't think they have a shot at beating one of those teams.
Well, even if the Clippers you know how sometimes the playoffs work out, they might not match up against each other. Like they might be taken out by somebody else or whatever.
Right. Like the Rockets or the Jazz or the Nuggets or some of those teams.
They're still going to be a problem for each other.
Right.
Like so, I feel like they're going to play a lot of games.
They're going to be looking at each other all season. Yeah. So and they share a building.
And they might match up.
They really might. Yeah. I mean, they could be the 1-2 seed and they could meet in the Western Conference Finals. They could. I mean, a lot of things could happen.
That would be a sin though. That I would be like kind of bummed out if like they met each other in the first round.
I don't think. Well, if they were like a 4-5 or a 6-3, yeah, the West is going to be really interesting because the Lakers and Clippers are easily the two best teams in my opinion because they have the best players, not necessarily the best roster across the board, but they have the best players: Anthony Davis, LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George. Those guys are better than most of the players in.
And then LeBron basketball. With his basketball smarts and his aging, he's not going for that first seed. So he's going to sit out games.
I don't think the Clippers are either.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so like, now we don't know who's going to go against each other. So like, they could end up going against each other in the first round, which would be sad.
I mean, it's going to be a fucking bitch to be in the West all year, dude. Like, I mean, the Jazz are so good right now. They got Mike Conley, they got Donovan Mitchell, they got Rudy Gobert, they got Joe. I mean, Jesus Christ, they're really good. The Nuggets are really good. They were the number 1 seed last year. The Warriors are still there. The Rockets are fucking there. I mean, the West is
because the Warriors, like
impossible.
the Warriors, and like, hey man, even the Nuggets to like some extent, they could have been like they could have had a great time.
Yeah.
But because the West is so good now,
Yeah.
they're just going to be so tired and worn out.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you're at the bottom of the West, say if you're like the Phoenix Suns or something like that, oh my God, you're going to lose so many games this year because you're playing the West every night almost.
yeah, I don't know. But at least the Bulls will like, they'll give little glimmers of hope to you because they're going to get wins and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to see who might be the worst team. Oh, Memphis is going to lose a lot of games.
the worst team is the Suns, though, right?
Last year, yeah, but
But this
Memphis
year?
lost Mike Conley. They lost Gasol in the middle of the season last year. I think Memphis is going to be the worst team in the West. Minnesota will probably be pretty
Who's
bad.
the worst in the East? Don't say it. It's not the Bulls.
Cleveland. Or Charlotte. Oh, Charlotte. Charlotte's the worst team. Because they were really bad last year when they had Kemba Walker, and they traded Kemba Walker for...
Like I thought,
Terry
the Bulls
Rozier.
are only the third worst team.
Yeah!
We did it, guys.
Yeah.
Third worst. 3P.
Speaking of the Bulls, since we are always on Bulls topics, a former Bull has been in the news recently. Derrick Rose recently dropped a book. I'm going to give it a quick listen pretty soon. I'm excited. But in one of his interviews, they had a conversation, I believe it was the Stephen A. Smith show, about his potential to be a Hall of Famer in the future and whether he thinks he's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
His answer was, it doesn't matter to me where I come from. I'm a Hall of Famer. I made it. I'm a 12-year vet in the NBA. I'm still contributing. I'm doing well. And I think that's a really good point. I think it'll be interesting to see what his stats are when it's all said and done. I'd really like to see him make another All-Star game. I think he could. I mean, he was 18 points a game last year.
I feel like if he just plays long enough, he's definitely going to make it to the Hall of Fame. You don't think so? He just needs longevity. Because he's already had some accomplishments.
I would
He's MVP.
really love to see him in the next... Because he's 31 maybe now at this point. I would really love to
he's
see...
30.
He's 30? Okay, so I'd love to see it, say, in the next 5 years, before he's 35, and at his size, he really starts to deteriorate. I would love to see him on a team that makes a huge impact in the NBA, whether it's a championship team or a team that's really good, and see him play with that as the new version of Derrick Rose, because he's been doing this on fairly bad teams.
If he didn't get hurt when he was on the Cavs, I thought that's what was going to happen.
Yeah, that was unfortunate that he
It
got
was so
shit.
lined up. I was like, man, he's
Yeah.
going to get some second string ring. He's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and I just don't think that was a good fit because LeBron's so ball dominant, and I think he needed to get some...
For a second, it seemed like a good fit because it seemed like he could just give him a break. And
he needed his confidence back. He needed to score a bunch of points, unlike the Timberwolves. You know what I mean? But I'm excited to see him on the Pistons this year. I think they're going to be a playoff team.
Blake's still on the Pistons.
Blake Griffin. They got Andre Drummond. I mean, they could do something. The East is a little weak, so I could see the Pistons slipping in there, and
They're going to make the playoffs.
I think they'll make the playoffs. I could see them being on 4 or 5 at best. You know?
I thought 8 and 7.
Well, I mean, the East isn't that strong. We're going to see what happens.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot about some of the moves.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough. And then Kevin Durant's on the Brooklyn Nets, but he's not playing.
Right, he won't play all year, yeah.
So then that's the Brooklyn Nets, Brooklyn's not going to make it.
No, I think Brooklyn's going to make it.
What's the 8? What's the 8 you're thinking?
For the East, I think you got Bucks and Sixers up top.
Yeah.
Indiana will make it. Toronto will make it.
On towards the bottom though, right?
I don't know, man. I said Toronto 4 to 7. Oof. Let's see.
4 is high.
I think Brooklyn does make it.
In the bottom, right?
Yeah. Orlando was a playoff team last year. They might make it. Oh, Miami's going to make it because they have Jimmy Butler now. So that's probably my 8. Watch out for Atlanta, too. I think Atlanta, Boston, they're on the bottom. They could sneak their way in. Yeah, Detroit. I think Detroit's a bottom playoff team. You're right. But I think they could go as high as 4 or 5 if they... Blake Griffin's a severely underrated player at this point. He's a 25 and 12 guy. Who the fuck does that? That's pretty impressive.
I like Blake Griffin.
Yeah, I do too. I like him as a person. I like him as a basketball player.
He's all good all around.
Yeah. He developed his 3-point
Definitely
game.
underrated.
Super underrated, yeah.
Man, and then Derrick Rose is underrated too. They could be like a little underrated Magic.
And it's Detroit. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying watch out for Detroit in the East.
The new bad boys?
They're going to be an intriguing team for me to watch this year, yeah.
The 2020 bad boys?
Yeah, I mean, except they don't play defense.
Yeah. The bad boys that never make it?
Yeah, the good boys.
The good boys.
Yeah, the good boys of Detroit.
We cry.
Another weird interview I heard recently, well, maybe you've heard about this, it made a lot of national news, was Kobe was getting interviewed by someone, and he said that if Shaq had his work ethic and trained as hard as he did, they would have won 12 rings together.
I've heard other people say that, but my counter argument is he's just naturally so big, it probably hurt way more to like work out and stuff.
You're probably right. I mean, yeah, I don't think you make it as far as Shaq did with a bad work ethic, but I get what Kobe's saying, and Kobe was also a maniac.
It's easy for like small people. Now he's not small, but like on the scale,
yeah.
It's easier for him being so much smaller than Shaq to say. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like those people, like especially like guys that are like they're like 5'3" and they're like 100 pounds. I'm like, you just gotta run. Like, no shit. You're naturally like...
You got a lot of energy.
You naturally are 110 pounds. Like,
right. It's not that much to carry
your body
around.
feels great running. That's like natural. Like, you just gotta lift. Why aren't you strong?
Right.
Like, I could just throw my like strong suits at you. Like,
it's like, oh, all you gotta do is pick up this fucking 100-pound box.
Just keep picking up this weight all the time, and then you'll be big and strong.
You little bitch.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point.
I always tell that to people who are like, you should just run. I'm like, you should, like, why can't you bench press 300 pounds? Like, why are you so weak?
Right. Ooh. Matt holding it down for the big boys.
Yeah. Big boy strong.
So you're on Shaq's side?
Man, I'm just I'm not big on their spectrum, but as a normal guy spectrum, like when you're bigger than like really slim people and they say stuff like that, you're like, yeah, it's really easy to say when your body's frame's like naturally so small.
Yeah, and you can recover so quickly.
And then Kobe Bryant, like, I mean, he has a hardcore work ethic and he's crazy and he's like one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Mm-hmm.
He's still like in ratio to Shaq, like super genetically gifted. He's like slim, like if Kobe Bryant became a mailman, he would still be as skinny as he is.
Probably, yeah.
He's just a skinny guy.
He's a skinny dude, yeah. I guess so. I do think that, I mean, Shaq always came into training camp a little overweight and all that stuff. I think maybe if he had the same vision that a lot of the players have now, where they see their career into the future and they plan on trying to self-preserve, I do think, I mean, I definitely think they get 2 or 3 more rings. I don't know about 12, but I think that's definitely a possibility. I mean, they both won without each other moving forward. You know, Shaq won another one in Miami, and Kobe won 2 more. So
that's also, I feel like that's also a time period thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if Shaq was playing now, he'd have some food specialist, scientist guy who was like, "Listen, big boy, you're gonna eat salmon and fucking asparagus," and he would naturally probably be smaller because of the time. But like back in the 90s and 2000s, like people were drinking and smoking and still playing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, people were going out and partying, and apparently he loved Big Macs. He was always eating Big Macs before games and shit. I mean, I don't know. No one can tell Shaq how to live his life. You know, he did a very good job. He won 4 rings.
Yeah, I mean,
top 10.
It's hard to tell. Like, yeah, I would consider him a top 10.
But would you consider Kobe?
Kobe's top 5.
Ooh, look at you.
Why?
I don't know. I think Kobe's top 10. I don't think he's top 5.
Oh, you're one of those guys?
I love Kobe. I was a big Kobe fan. But, I mean, Jordan and LeBron are better. Kareem's better.
I don't know. It's hard when you start going too far back.
I know.
Yeah,
so. I agree. In terms of who...
Modern day basketball, I consider Kobe Bryant a top 5.
Yeah, but I mean, sure. Okay. But also you could argue that Tim Duncan was better than Kobe because he won as many rings over a long period of time where his teams didn't suck and he wasn't selfish.
Do you think Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant one-on-one, who would win in their prime?
Kobe.
Yeah, see, so that's how I judge it.
Yeah, who was the best at their peak?
Yeah, because then like it's hard when you start.
If that's the case, Shaq might be number 1.
That's what a lot of people do. A weird thing a lot of people do is they compare careers and stuff like that. I mean, the argument should be best basketball player.
Right.
Yeah. Because then it's hard. Because then you got to do like little subsets.
Right.
Then, so sometimes the argument gets too weird and people like are comparing positions.
Right.
So like it's hard to compare.
They play different games
a center
and shit like that.
you know what I'm saying? Like
right. Yeah, you're right. The center versus a guard. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's
very
super crappy players who can beat like Yao Ming. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he was great. I think Yao Ming is one of the most underrated players of all time.
But you see what I'm saying though, right? Like
Yeah, sure.
You can't compare shooters and like
Right. Yeah.
like
sure.
yeah.
I totally get what you're saying, but yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. So let me ask you this: if you had to start a team, you have a franchise, and you get to pick between prime Shaq or prime Kobe to build your team around. They're free agent. They're both 25 years old. Who are you picking?
Oh man! Even though I said Kobe's better, I'd pick
Ooh,
Shaq.
because you want the big guy.
Yeah,
because you want the big guy.
Because you could build around Shaq easier
Right.
than Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe could still be on a trash team. Shaq's team is at least
Right.
going to be like a force.
Right, because no one's going to score on
Yeah.
him and no one's going to stop him. Yeah.
Yeah, no one's really
And a
trying
lot
to-
of people are going to get a lot of open shots.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I think Shaq's better.
that's a very good point. Yeah, I don't have any argument for that.
But
I agree.
But I was a huge Kobe fan, and I think Kobe had a better career. But I think Shaq in his prime is almost up there with prime Jordan, to be honest. I think like that 2000, 2001 Shaq, those first couple, I mean, Jesus, like he was scoring like 40 and 20 and, you know, all these finals games. He was insane. You know?
If I can play devil's advocate, if Shaq could somehow manage like in his career, if he to be like 30 or 40, he's so big. I mean, like 50 pounds lighter, he would have been amazing. Like,
I mean, yeah. If Shaq would have kept his frame from his Orlando Magic days and like stayed that trim, yeah. I mean, he would have added. I mean, maybe not more time on his career, but those last 5 years would have been a lot more.
equal to something.
They would have been
it's
a
kind
lot
of
less
like
drop off.
a lot of
yeah.
people forget LeBron James really slimmed down at one point.
Yeah, he got really big and then he slimmed down again because he self-preservation.
And that made him better. He was
Right.
quicker, more agile.
It didn't get injured as much, you know, wasn't putting as much stress on his body, wasn't carrying as much weight.
But like I think as a time thing again too, I think LeBron James had some scientists and food therapists and stuff were like,
Oh yeah, I mean definitely they know how to get him where he needs to go. Yeah, you're right though. But yeah, I think it was a physical game and he wanted to get big and strong in his 20s, and then I think once the 30s hit, he's like, okay, now it's time to like make sure my body's in good shape.
He definitely started feeling some pain probably too.
Yeah,
like,
and the game got less physical. You didn't need that as much. You know, now it's all about shooting and you know.
it's definitely the
speed.
NBA is definitely going to the slender side.
Yeah. I mean,
Slender.
Kevin Durant was the best player in the league probably last year before he got injured. You know.
And he looks like Slender Man.
Yeah, he's not a big dude, you know, at all. Yeah, man, I'm excited for this season. I think this season's gonna be fucking awesome. Any other bold claims or picks or anything you want to say before we sign off for this episode?
I'm also excited for the season because it's kind of almost unrelated to basketball, but it is. I'm getting a Switch, but I'm going to get NBA 2K20, and now we're going to have cross-platform plays coming. So then me and Brad, I mean, we should even play one on the...
I would do a video where we
yeah.
could shoot something. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time. If you're watching this far in the video, kudos to you. You get a little nugget about our planning.
Comment that you made it to this time now.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So you made it to minute 39 or whatever, and
hand
all the 9/11 jokes didn't turn you off.
9/11.
Yeah, I still want to do like a live podcast or stand-up show where we do like 2K20 like games and NBA Jam, like old school versus new school. Like,
and I'm not being sarcastic because he has way more experience than me. Brad's really good at it. So I mean, like even if you come at him in the comments, I mean,
I will fuck up anyone in 2K.
I need to practice.
I will fuck up anyone in 2K.
The whole reason I want to get it is so I can practice because I played him and he like jokingly beats me by like 45, 50 points, and he could do it more if he was trying to like.
I got to give a shout out to my boy JP because he comes over and he's
JP.
Him and all his buddies. They went to school to like do like video game shit, and they're like really like big gamers. And he's the only person that beats me every once in a while, but I still kick his ass. But yeah, because he's a little bitch.
I've never come close. I think the closest I came is like you were doing something while you were playing me.
I was like smoking a joint and reading a book.
Yeah, and I think I like lost by like 30.
I do love 2K.
Yeah, I think you like put the controller down.
I was like
pushing your
Camille,
players.
take this for a while.
Trying to like take the ball away from your players. Even the computers are still like, nope.
I just wouldn't pass the ball in for like 5 minutes while I was warming up potatoes.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'm back after a quarter and a half. All right, let's go.
I mean, do you know what game I can beat you at? I mean,
probably most games.
NBA Jam.
Yeah,
NBA Jam.
I don't really get the. Yeah, I've never gotten good at that. I've obviously played it growing up, and I was okay at it at a certain point. But like the arcade style and all that shit, I don't get how the skill is involved. I guess I don't know.
Can we play that on this podcast?
we will do both.
All right.
We should do a video where we do 2K20 versus NBA Jam, old school versus new school, and we can just cut together clips from one game and clips from the other game.
That's how I'll redeem myself.
There you go.
Then if that doesn't work, we could play like Earthworm Jim or something on Sega, and I'll win.
Right. And that's a reference that literally no one understands, so that's cool.
If you're over 30, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I'm
Earthworm Jim, best
giving
Sega
this old
game of
man
all
a hard time.
You guys remember VHS?
Yeah, me and Matt have a bunch of shows coming up. Specifically, this coming Monday. Go ahead,
Laugh Factory, Bad Waves. If you want free tickets or comps, message him, me, this YouTube thing, anything. Come to it. It's going to be awesome. This will be the first time we're both on the same Laugh Factory show, so it's going to be like a.
That'll be sick.
We should. It's going to be fun. And then if you come, it's really close to my birthday, so we could get like trash together. Even if I don't know you, if you're just some random person on the internet watching this, September 16th. Cut out August. September 16th. This Monday coming up. So if you're watching it like in real time, whenever this came out right before it, Monday, come. You're going to have a great time.
And if you can't make that show, September 20th, 10 at the store, we'll be there.
Another doubleheader.
Both of us on it. Yeah, so you got a couple shows to catch us both. Next Monday, next Friday, the 16th and the 20th, Laugh Factory on the 16th, 10 at the store on the 20th. We're going to tell some jokes and
if you come
maybe even cuddle a little bit. You never know.
Yeah, if you come and bring up this moment of the podcast, we'll kiss.
It's not going to happen, so we're not worried about it.
We're not worried about it. I'm a little worried.
I'm a little excited. Okay, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you hopefully soon, and super excited for the NBA season. Tell them something stupid, Matt.
Bye, guys. Follow me on all my Instagrams because I'm